Alright, so we're back at the table saw. I have the planer and everything else set up behind me. I emptied my dust separator. So we're going to continue on with these rips, and I've made decisions. Gotta really make, again, a set of plans, but I have an idea what each one of these parts are going to be. So I need to make a full rip out of some of this board right here that has this cup in it. I figured this one would be best to rip down for a couple more stretches at 2 5/8, so I'll kind of remove most of that cup before I plane up the edge or the face. Then I want to rip this one into 2 5/8 for the long stretches on the front and back. The board beneath this one, that's 70 inches. This one's going to end up being the back apron, so I'm probably going to rip that to I'm thinking about 6 inches, because it needs to be the thickness of the top plus a stretcher. So I'm thinking, yeah, probably about 5 1/4 to 6 inches. So I'm gonna rip this one to probably just 7 though. I'll decide that kind of when I get further to it. The offcut piece will just be an extra one. I might rip, I could go and rip another stretcher. That's what I want to do. So what I'm gonna do is off this other one, I'm gonna rip one piece at 2 5/8, which will leave me plenty of room to do whatever I want to do with the back apron with what's left. These other 3 pieces are going to be ripped to 3 1/2 inches for my legs, and that will give me a total of 8 with a bunch of little offcut pieces. I'll probably figure out where I can put those in or what I can use those for. And then we have this bottom one, which will be the front apron. I'm debating on leaving the full 12 inches. I think that will still leave me with 2 foot of storage that I can reach underneath the front apron. So I can probably still build me a cabinet off to the left hand side with drawers, and then leave off to the right for bigger storage, whatever I want to put over there. And then I have space above the cabinet that will be this width of the apron. So I still can put like a circular saw or something like that off to the side. So rough idea of what I want to do. I know what I'm ripping and everything, so we'll get all this ripped and try to get everything through the planer before I go to bed tonight. It's currently 12:30. Alright, that concludes all of the table saw milling until after glue ups. So let me go ahead and lower the blade all the way down so I can stack all this material up here so I can start planing everything. So this is the front apron. These, now that all the grain is straight and beautiful, will be glued up to make legs. We have 8 pieces for that. We can go ahead and put the back apron on top of the front apron. Slide my fence all the way out the way. And then we have an extra piece that I probably should rip to something. I probably should rip this to 3 1/2 with the other ones. But yeah, this is the extra piece I decided not to rip down because of that knot. So I mean, if I need that for something, that's where that would go to. these are going to make the stretchers on the top side. These are going to get glued up and then cut in half. These are going to be the torsion box style framework. So these 4 pieces, after gluing them up, should be able to give me 4 pieces, because they'll be full 3 inches thick, but it's only a 2-inch bench. And these are over 4 foot. I believe these are 50 inches long. So I took the 2x10. Yeah, these are 50 inches long. So hopefully after the milling process, I have enough to make, 4 stretchers out of these pieces. These are the straighter grain stretcher pieces that will end up going for the actual connecting sections going this way. These are going to be the ones that are actually going to make up the actual support for the top. And then I have these as the horizontal stretcher pieces. And then we have all the wood for the top. All this has been made up to be pretty straight grained, and I'm still able to alternate it. Because you're cutting a board that essentially has grain that's like an arch, you're going to be able to get why I end up getting. Let's see if I can show one. I think these 4 will do it. Let me pull up and see what's in frame. But those should be able to allow me to show you guys. I should pan the camera and zoom in. So right here with these 4 different boards, even though they're all turned the same way, you see how you have grain pretty much going this way, then you used to have grain going this way, because how it was cut out of a board, more than likely this would have been the edge of a board. And then you would have had grain that was turned sideways that would have been catching the arch as this kind of radiused out this way. So how I can glue this up, like these 2 pieces, look, they go together. No, they don't. But again, the goal is to have alternating grain in this sandwich that we're going to eventually glue up. We have grain that's pretty much running perfectly perpendicular with the edges. We just have them going in 2 different directions. So we have grain going this way and grain going this way, but it's all straight grain. So this board's gonna want to move this way, and if this one moves at all, it'll go this way. But these 2 will hold them together. Pretty much the alternating grain is gonna help everything be more stable. So this will be one sandwich for the top, and you have the grain alternating in all directions. Essentially, it's almost like getting riffs on and plain sawn boards, but instead of a plain sawn board where your grain will make the full arch, because these are ripped out, all the grain is actually running perfectly horizontal versus doing the full arch, which will give the board a tendency to cup. Because these are so narrow and how we rip them, that won't be an issue. But yeah, so now to get all these set up here so we can run them all through the planer. Maybe, again, glue up the top, at least the 2 different sections of the top tonight. I'm debating if I want to glue up the legs or do like cheating joinery, kind of like, false half laps, because they'll all be dimensional. But I'm thinking I'm probably going to cut Well, I'm thinking I'm probably just gonna glue up all the blanks, mill all the blanks square, and then cut traditional joinery instead of cheating. We will see. We will see. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm leaning more toward. So let's get everything ran through the planer, and we'll see how many glue ups we get through tonight. Actually, scratch that. I am going to keep planning tonight, but this will be the end of that video. This video will probably show you guys all the milling processes and everything that we went through to get everything pretty much ripped and ready for planing overall. And actually, in this build, if you guys want to copy exactly what I do, these glue up joints are perfectly fine how they are. When I picked up my 2x12s, they didn't have any like really rough sawn, like, you know, bad gouges or anything in them. So these will actually glue up just fine how they are. I just want to run them through the planer because I know on the outside edge, I would like to have on the outside of the bench that to be cleaned up, and it'll be easier to run everything. Well, not easier, but I think it'll give me a better glue up, and overall it'll look nicer. So yeah, this is where the video is going to stop. But if you guys have enjoyed, please let me know down in the comments. Check out all my other social medias, my Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. All of them under New World Carpentry or New World Carpentry Solutions. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.